If you want to know how to make a perfect okra rice like this, trust me, this is the video for you. I know, it's been a while, it's been a long while, but I am back with another recipe. And you know, in Trinidad and Tobago and you know, in the Caribbean, we love a one-pot dish. You know, we Pelau, kitri, rice and peas, and of course, okra rice is a popular one-pot dish in Trinidad and Tobago. So today, I'm sharing with you my okra rice recipe. Yes, we have one on the channel already that Renee made, and that was actually, you know, fun fact, the first episode of Simply Local was Renee doing a okra rice.
Hi, I'm Renee and I'm a line chef at Crave Restaurant, and this is Simply Local. Right off the bat, I'm getting strong flavors of the coconut, the okra, right? And what I said I love about okra rice, because of the type of meat that you put in it, you don't have to put too much salt in the rice, right? So we have pigtail, especially for pigtail, it's actually really high in salt. So by the time you eat a piece of pigtail, eat a piece of the rice, you're good to go, right? So as for me and my family, we actually like it as this texture, a little bit moist on the moist side. Some people, they like it more on the dry side. But like I said, it depends on you and your family taste or your preference.
Today, I'll show you how I just make my okra rice. Real simple recipe, simple ingredients, but you know, of course, we're choosing the right ingredients to make this real best. And I'll also share with you a little technique that I pick up recently, the way that I like to cook rice when I'm doing one-pot dishes now. Make sure that I get the perfect rice every single time. So I'll be sharing that with you. So let me jump into it one time. So my okra rice don't really call for no set of ingredients. I like to keep it simple, and that's because, I mean, okra, while it is, you know, something that has a very unique and distinct flavor, it is not a very bold flavor. So if you think about okra like, you know, like a singer in the singing world, okra would be like Sade. You know, Sade have a really unique voice, but she do have a very powerful voice. Okra would be Sade. So what we want to do in a dish like this is not overpower the okra with too many things. You want to just add the right ingredients, and that's like the band, you know, playing different instruments and things to accompany her voice and make it sound, you know, even better as a band. You want to do the same thing with the okra. You want to add just the right ingredients to complement the okra, support the okra, but not overpower the okra, because I mean, it's okra rice, so the prominent flavor in the okra rice should be okra. So we're choosing the right ingredients to make that happen. And when you're buying okra, you might be getting, you know, $25 or $5 and that kind of thing. I always tend to go for the smaller ones, the young okra, not the big ones. I mean, you might be thinking again more value for money when you buy the big ones, but I like to buy these nice smaller ones because they're always nice and soft. I'd rather run the risk of buying old okra. So that is my little tip for when I'm buying okra. And of course, the usual suspects, onion, garlic. Pumpkin is a must for me in my okra rice. For the herbs, I use a combination of celery and rosemary. I find these go really well in okra rice. A little Scotch bonnet pepper for some heat, of course. And for me, the spice that has really take my okra rice to the next level is coriander. So a table of coriander seeds in my okra rice, let's just give it the right nice flavor. So yeah, let me jump into it, let me get this going. Dice one large onion. For the celery, you want to use the leaves and the stalks. I'm going in with about 5 cloves of garlic. For the heat, I'm going in with half of a Scotch bonnet pepper. Of course, this is optional. If you don't want the heat, you can omit this. And I like to add pumpkin to my okra rice because pumpkin adds a bit of sweetness as well as some creamy texture to the final dish. So You're going in with about half a pound of pumpkin, and I want to cut it into small cubes. Of course, you want to make sure to break down the rosemary really fine. And for the okra, we want to remove the stem and then just cut it into like 1/4 inch slices. You don't want to cut it too small because you want to see some nice pieces of okra in the dish. And for the size of pot I'm doing and the amount of rice will determine how many okras I use. So I'm using here 18 medium-sized okras. Of course, if you're using bigger okras, you might use less. If you're using smaller okras, you might use more. Right now for this dish, I'm using 18 medium-sized to small okras. You want to add the coriander seeds to a mortar and pestle and just grind it. And as you continue to grind the coriander seeds, they will give off their aroma, and this will add real nice warm flavor to our okra rice. Alright, so that is it for the prep work. We're looking good here. Time to head over to the stove and continue this dish. So before we jump into actually cooking this dish, I want to take a moment to talk about the pot that we're using. So the tip that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, where we're going to cook the rice perfectly, what we're going to do is put the rice in the oven to finish cooking. Now we're going to start it on the stove top and then put it in the oven. I mean, obviously, we know we need to saute our aromatics and that kind of thing. So for that purpose, we need a pot like this, a nice heavy iron pot, round bottom iron pot. Now you could use a pot like this, which is, you know, the deeper ones that we are accustomed to cook the rice and put it in the oven. This will do well in the oven as well, but I kind of like this more shallow one because it allows for more even dispersion of heat. When you add the rice, there's not too much rice compacted on top of each other. The heat had to go through to cook the rice properly or evenly right through. So because this is a more shallow but broader pot, I find that it does better or gives me better results when I cook the rice using this. So just a preference thing. Of course, as I said, you could use your regular iron bottom pot, which is like these, which are a little taller, have a little more depth. But for me, I like this one. I prefer using this one because, as I said, I get a more even cooking and less cooking time, making sure that all the rice is completely cooked. So yeah, let me get this going. All right, so we're adding some oil to our pot. Firstly, we want to go in with our coriander seeds. I just want this to toast in the oil for a couple of seconds. And this is going to infuse that flavor profile into the oil. Now we're going to add our onions, celery, and the Scotch bonnet pepper. We're going to let this saute for about a minute or two. Now we add the pumpkin. Going in with our okra. Give that a toss. Add in our rosemary and garlic. For a little razzle dazzle, I add in 1/4 teaspoon of bay leaf powder. Now I have a video showing you how to make this bay leaf powder, so you can take a look at that. I'll post a link in the video description. But if you don't have bay leaf powder, of course you can just use your bay leaf. Seasoning with a pinch of salt, pinch of black pepper. Now you want to lower your flame, cover this, and allow it to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. All right, so 8 minutes later, pumpkin cooked, okra cooked. That is what we're looking for here. At this point, we want to add our washed rice. And of course, we wash the rice to remove some of the starch from it. You don't want an overly starchy end product. We want a nice grainy rice. 2 cups of coconut milk, and I forgot to mention that we used 2.5 cups of rice. So at this point, you want to taste and adjust for salt. I'm going in with a pinch of salt here. So as soon as the pot starts to simmer, as you can see, it's happening here. You're seeing it bubbling. You want to turn off the heat. You're going to cover this. And now we're going to transfer our pot to a preheated oven at 350 degrees. And we're going to put that to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, we're going to check it and see how our rice is looking. So into our oven, preheated at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. All right, so 20 minutes later, not 15, but 20 minutes later, this is how we're looking. Look at that. Looking good. Just gonna toss it up here. And as you can see, perfectly cooked rice. All right, look what's going on here. Perfectly cooked okra rice, not too grainy, not too mushy, just perfectly cooked, perfect consistency. Yeah, man, this is a proper meal, proper, going in for a taste. So you're getting the okra coming through prominent. I mean, it's okra rice, so you want that okra flavor there. The pumpkin adding a bit of sweetness, but also nice creamy texture to the dish. You know, that warm, earthy, spicy notes that you get from coriander seeds, like if you're adding it to curry or making a masala. Yeah, you're getting that there. So that kind of just underneath as an undertone, real nice. And then of course the aromatics, the onion, the garlic, and then, you know, slight spice from the Scotch bonnet pepper and the rosemary and the celery, adding that nice perfume to the dish. Listen, yeah, this is a proper okra rice. And this right here is a proper vegan one-pot dish. Of course, as I said before, you could add your saltfish or your salt meat, however you want, but it's not missing anything. I'm gonna tell you, I'll stand, how did I say, 10 toes? I'll stand on 10 toes on this recipe. This is a winning okra rice recipe. You're not missing no flavor, not lacking in flavor. The consistency is perfect. Trust me. Follow this method and yeah, you're in the game. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a share. If you do try the recipe, post a comment below and let me know how it turned out, or post to social media, tag me in it, would love to know. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please take a moment to do so. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.